Hello, brothers of the internet, and welcome to this video where today I will be attempting to create a vehicle from the 1993 year. And it's actually going to inherit a lot from the supercar I built recently in 1988. But it's going to try and do that on a more affordable level. Now, I'm thinking of this car or this one. We do need a frontal engine position. I'm hoping to get something with the looks of a Ford Probe, but the performance of a Subaru Legacy or Impreza from the early 90s. One of the higher end variants, and I think this is the body to go for. So as I was saying, yeah, the Ford Probe, it's probably frowned upon by many people, but I reckon it's quite a good looking car, and under this specific circumstance, that's what we are going for. So we can mass produce partial aluminium. I'll try that, although I may have to go with standard old steel if it turns out to be a bit too heavy for the car. We'll also have a look at this standard galvanized steel chassis, which should be worth a try. We'll go transverse, not longitudinal. Again, it's about taking what the supercar had and moving it to a more affordable level. So maybe we'll have the wishbone on the back, but I don't think it's strictly necessary. I think we can go with semi-trailing arm. Again, it's just all around still good suspension, but cheaper than what the supercar had. The car is just consistently going to be cheaper all around. Now, I know exactly what kind of engine to go for. Cast iron inline 4, perhaps for an aluminium head, but more crucially, the head and valves are going to be a 4-valve per cylinder single overhead cam, as opposed to the dual overhead cam, or quad cam as it even was, because that was a V8 engine in the supercar. So we're going to have, I think, 16 valves in that. We can try cast iron for now, as I say. It may be aluminium, it may be cast iron. I'll have to see what the market specifically wants. Most integral is that we have the overhead cam, as my voice dies on camera. That's not good. Anyway, again, cast iron internals. We can actually go with low friction cast at this point in time, which is very good because we can make power that way. We are going to put a turbo on this naturally, and I may even make the engine slightly bigger, but it is going to remain a 4-cylinder. I say that, it'll probably end up with like 12 or something. No, 12 is going to be far too many. Journal or ball bearing? Do we think we can afford a ball bearing? Yeah. It's just a slightly more expensive part. I think we can get that, given that it's going to improve the turbo a lot. We'll go with multi-point fuel injection. Actually the same as the supercar, but remember it's on far fewer cylinders. Smaller cylinders, I think, too. So, at least for the time being, they're smaller cylinders. So it's really just about getting that technology on a cheaper scale. We'll go see what we've got here. I think we'll go standard freeway, reverse flow, and no second muffler. By the looks of it, we can go back here, raise the RPM limit, give us a bit more power, but more crucially, we have to go to, not here, but we have to go to where the compression is, and that compression can give us some more power when I get the balance just right. Yeah, already. That is not the most power in the world, no. But I can boost the turbo more. I can adjust bits here and there more to get more power. 153, there you'll see, just by adjusting the exhaust to be larger. So we're already making 150. I mean, I could stick front wheel drive on this and it would be a half decent front wheel drive car with that kind of power, but I know I'm capable of building so much more. I think I want less doors. As I was saying, the look of a Ford Probe is not achieved by having too many doors. And I don't think we want it to be a soft top. I just don't think that suits it. I think it looks quite good in this kind of trim, but not good enough for me. I reckon I could do better. I reckon I could bring the front down on something a bit more than this. So what's here? No, okay. What else do we have? Are there any other bodies that are nice? Ooh, this is an 89 coupe. I didn't notice this at first. It looks almost like a Mitsubishi GTO, FTO, that kind of car. It works so far for me. Transverse front wheel drive. We'll go, or all-wheel drive, sorry. I'm getting a bit confused with what menu I'm in. We'll go with a manual 5-speed transmission. The supercar had a 5-speed, but that was 5 years ago. I think we can make affordances for that. Because, well, 5 years into the future, and 5-speeds have been available since the 1970s. It's not like they're the hardest things to manufacture by this point. There's been decent enough lead up to this car's manufacture date. At least I reckon so. We'll go open differentials, 50/50, which is a conventional all-wheel drive system. You know, minimal setup should be required by means of that. Radials, hard long life for the time being. 215s on the front. Ooh. Looks like the rear can handle wider tyres. I don't know what to do too much about that. I'll try 205s actually. It depends how much power I'm pushing out here, how much tyre I will actually need. So 205s for the time being. This looks like a very, very small car. I'm not sure if it is really as small as it looks, but I reckon it is. Whether that's a bad thing, probably not. But it's likely to be a 2+2 as opposed to a proper 4-seater or 5-seater even. So, do we have that? No. Yes, no, I don't know. Alloys, can we have them? I reckon so. I think the supercar had alloys. It may have had magnesium, but I'm pretty sure it had alloys. Solid discs on the front and drums on the rear. If I can get this to work, that is. The supercar had vented discs front and rear. We'll go, yeah. Brakes, I'm not really bothering on bringing the high tech to them because it's not going to be so high performance. I'm going to need ultra high performance brakes. It's going to be high performance, but not ultra high performance. Semi-cloud under tray, slightly cheap alternative to fully clad, and as I was saying, 2+2. I might even get rid of rear seats completely if it doesn't need them. But it seems a bit pointless in this kind of body style. It looks like it's meant to have something on the back. Could actually stretch that out. Come on. Give that more space at the back. And then take up that space by moving the windscreen back. Yes, there we go. I didn't actually check if I could do that sooner, like I should have, but then I did now. And I can actually squash the front down or bring the front up like so. Ooh, that is very intriguing. If I bring it down so much, the McPherson struts actually stick through. I don't believe double wishbone does that. However, do I really want to do that just to hide some suspension poles? No, I do not. So you get the idea where I'm going with this. We can't bring the front out more, no? Okay, I'm going to have to go on double wishbone just to get this car to work as I would like. We'll go double wishbone. I'm still going to keep the trailing arm on the back, but double wishbone on the front because, well, there's no way around it. It has to be this suspension. Normally that's pretty good for just regular cars, so I'm going to try that. Comfort, pony budget. It fits very well under pony budget. Although it's all-wheel drive, exactly my point. Sometimes these things you just don't know. Fun, I'm going to go for fun actually. Fun is probably a good categorization for this car. Wait, so will it go lower, I wonder? Yes, the market will happily permit it to go a little lower still. But that doesn't look that low, that's the trouble. It might just be the actual size of the tyres. So if I go back a few menus, where is it? 600, it may be the size of these that's doing it. make them bigger. 645, try 630, maybe 635. Then I can fit 15, 16, same size wheels as a supercar. And that should give me plenty of grip and decent cornering if I'm lucky. I can give it a weird bottom. What? The Crimson Chin. Crimson Chin protecting cars from evil. Yeah, slightly losing my mind. It does look like Crimson Chin though, when you do that to the back. So, as you'll see here, I have a car. Well, it is basically what we've got before, but with so many changes, it's not really the same car. Now, it is front-wheel drive, it is transverse, front-engined, yes, and we've got a lot of lag here. I'm sure this engine wasn't lagging this much, either that or it was just a different type of lag. Anyway, hopefully you can see where I was going with the design. I was going for a kind of slightly premium saloon, even though it's obviously a convertible sports car. The rear is interesting, to say the least. I actually used headlights for that from some old 70s car, or 70s Volvo or whatever, but it works, you know. I pulled it together and it does work. Got some little fog lights down here, indicators, and it does look like a 90s era car. So I can say it's been a success there. I've managed to take a body from the mid-80s, 1985 I think this is from, and turn it into something that looks like a 90s body. Now, moving on, we can go and see what else we have. Solid discs, yeah. I can do some final adjustment to the brakes, as I am doing overall. So 130.4, yep. Slightly wider tyres, I'm guessing, are slightly heavier and they require slightly larger brakes. These are massive brakes and they are simpler technology than my supercar still. However, this car is heavy, 1482 kilograms. It's much lighter than the supercar. I've basically gone with the same route though. I've got a larger, torquier engine, but a heavier car to pull with that torque. Can it go to decent speeds? Hopefully. But I don't know this for certain until I've driven it. I reckon it's going to be reasonably quick round trial mountain, but I'm not sure it's going to be the fastest car in the world. We have the thingy. Try increasing tyre width and rim size. I'm going to have to do that, I guess. The 19s were stupidly massive anyway for 1993. So consider it a deed that's been done, so to speak. We'll go do that. Wider track should always be good for, well, going round a track. So we are going to find the menu and export it to BeamNG.drive. See how much my 1500 kilogram tank can achieve. So here I have the car, and I reckon for what this is, it actually sounds quite good. Yeah, it is the TAIF 3500 GT. Called that for natural reasons, as you can probably see. We can turn the headlights on. Indeed, they work as they should. We can set the indicators. Then that side should be on. Knocking my microphone, as I shouldn't really be. How unprofessional. We've got that one as well. On the back, all lined up properly. Despite them being headlights, they do work perfectly on the back. So, let's get this going. Well, the day will come when I will learn how automatic transmissions work, but until that day, I will keep failing badly. Anyway, in the brief experience I've had of driving this thing before, actually driving it now, it is not a bad handling car. And yeah, indeed, as you'll see, coming through these corners, it might not have a lot of power, but it's able to grip so well. It feels like a full-on race car, even though it isn't. It's actually something reasonably comfortable, even if the suspension travel just isn't here. The comfort level isn't too bad on it, and I'm still able to push it around corners in a way I probably shouldn't be able to. It's got that automatic transmission as well. It doesn't feel like it's getting in the way as sometimes the automatics do. Probably to do with the rest of the car being so well set up. It's only got 4 speeds, as I would say, but it's doing a good enough job. It's quick enough that I'm not going to see much cause for concern here. Getting up here, it's not as quick as a supercar, but then it was never going to be. We've got it to 88 miles per hour though, so the major concerns are dealt with. Come on. Round here we go. Gripping lovely thanks to that differential. There's great turning on this, yet very little understeer. So it just goes round corners. I say very little understeer. I mean, I'm sure understeer would show if I started loading up the power, but as it is, out the factory doors, it handles remarkably well. Coming through here, I don't think I'll be getting a sub 2 minute time on my first lap, but then it could do it, potentially. No, it's not. Just looking at the top right corner, my only complaint so far is it just feels slow. It feels like it could handle so much more power, but it hasn't got so much more power. Right, I'm going to try and really push this thing, because it's actually reminding me of a Kashira in that respect, that it could have perhaps handled more power, but it wasn't endowed with more power, so it didn't make use of having that extra power that just wasn't there. Like, you'll see there, I'm just pushing hard. A lot of the time, just look at the bottom left and you'll see, well, not now. Oh, that was scary. I should have broke there, but the car caught me off guard because I was expecting too much from it. That is genuinely my fault. I was just expecting too much from the car in that particular case. It is still a front-wheel drive. Oh, don't hit that rock. That would be stupid. That would be a stupid way to take out the car. Round here we go. Along here. I'm flooring it now, as you can see. We are going very, very quick. The steering might be ever so slightly bent up, but it feels like it's tracking straight for the most part. Nothing major has happened, that's for sure. The brakes are actually incredibly powerful. I mean, the huge size of the front brakes will help that, but they are on point. I mean, they are not letting me down in the slightest. Come on, round here we go. I am really getting these cars right lately. Although, I did export this car with a nicer colour. For some reason, I've ended up with the red one. I just remembered that now. Come on. I kind of have 2 exported into BeamNG. One is red, the other is like a dark brownish, and that I would have preferred, but you know. This is the one we've got. They're mechanically identical. Come on, round here. Yes, flooring it. Lovely. Lovely round here. Second lap. Yeah, we can go and push on. I think it's the second quickest car, which is not to be laughed at, because being the second quickest, maybe not the very quickest, but it really is something. And yeah, that was me. That was me again, being stupid. I just didn't know what to do. I could feel it was going off, and I just let it ultimately. I don't think I've lost too much speed, but I have bent the steering quite presently, as can be noticed. Whoa! Come on, this way. Yeah. The steering is bent, but it doesn't feel like it's particularly hurting the car's performance. So I will continue to trek on. And round this left-hander. The wheel is doing odd things in my hand now because it's not straight. So it's I don't know. I'd say about 10 to 20 degrees more left than it should be. It's just enough to be properly disconcerting, even if it isn't like major problem level. Come on, we hit 88 miles per hour, now it's time to slow it down. Come on, before we hit the movie theatre, that's a thing. Oh dear, accelerating. I'm not going to do a sub 2 minute, that much is present and clear to me now. But I am going to push this for all it's worth round these last few corners. Come on. Yes. So elegantly done round that last corner, I think. Along here we go. Brake. This is a sub 200 horsepower vehicle, remember, so we're not getting crazy power by any means. In terms of bhp per litre, this vehicle is absolutely hopeless, yet as an entire package it works incredibly well. Through there we go. Oh, almost hitting that wall. 2 minutes 8, yeah. It's set a similar time there, I think, to a Miramar, but the second lap was definitely capable of putting it into second place. Not bad at all. Okay, so this does look vaguely like a Mitsubishi Eclipse, looking at it now. But actually, yeah, it did decently on the leaderboard. It's the second quickest vehicle after the supercar I built last episode, and that's on 195 tyres all round. These are not wide tyres, but still, it pulls a fight of its own. It's about 3 seconds quicker than the Miramar. You'll see here, actually, if I just get a zoomed in shot on it, that wheel is a bit bent. That's what was causing the steering issues. Besides that, the car is in fine condition. I can hopefully, yeah, find the brake pedal and slow it just fine. I can accelerate just fine if I find the gear. Well, it's on the, it's got the handbrake on now. And with this weakened engine, it's not going to be able to pull its own weight. But you get the idea. It is a decent enough vehicle. And I would say again, I'm proud of it. Even though it only makes 180 horsepower, it puts that power to good use round a circuit in the real world. So, here I have a 1990s Pessima. I have decided that I am going to drive this to see how it compares to my vehicle. This particular variant is the V6 LX Sport Automatic. It's got 7 horsepower more than my vehicle and a bit less weight as well. However, this is still just a standard sedan and not a sports car, so it should balance out actually as to which model is quicker. Now, I should really have the proper speedometer in the interior from the outside, but since this is an automatic, I'll let my stupid mistake slide for now. Ooh, I was going so recklessly wide there. I shouldn't have been. It does look like we have ABS though, so that's something we can bear in mind. We don't have to worry about that. This car is also 96 and not 93 in terms of the year, so it's not perfect there, but we can just assume it's close enough, as I guess we did with the Miramar. And hope this is a bit of a leveler in terms of a leaderboard. Oh, accelerate. Yeah, I can feel the brakes on these. They're not as on point as my vehicle. And that's what I mean. Although this is technically better, although this technically has the makings of a better vehicle, it's not quite as focused because it isn't a sports car. It's a family saloon and everything that that may entail. Come on. Mine probably has a more premium interior, to be entirely honest, as I get caught in the sand trap. This is a bit more messy to drive, but then it is taller on the suspension, presumably to stop it being completely unbearable on the road. And I can't really blame Ibishu for the decisions they've made. It's just, around a track, you can really begin to feel maybe they're not the very best decisions in a track car, which this isn't purely for doing, so it can be forgiven. Now, we're coming to the end of the first lap. It's actually done surprisingly good in terms of pace. It's actually surprising me. I mean, this, as I was saying, it feels a bit messy, but it's not doing too bad for time. I mean, it looks slow if you look in the top right corner. It looks like it's saying slow times, but that was just the first kind of warm-up lap. Now we're on the second lap, I'll be able to push this more. I know that the car has limits. I know I can't push it hard around every corner, or I'll just fly off into a wall and understeer. Again, something my car didn't do. My car didn't tend to understeer, unless it was in very extreme circumstances. This vehicle does understeer if you're not careful. And I really needed to step on the brakes back there because it just wasn't going to slow otherwise. So, there we go. The facts of life. When you're living with a sporty saloon, the brakes on this, that's another concern, may get hotter. Because although I only had disc brakes on my vehicle and not vented or anything, they were still disc brakes that were quite big. So they had a lot of space to get rid of the heat. If these are smaller brakes, like I suspect they are, then there won't be quite so much space to get rid of the heat. Thing is, the brakes might just be enough. If they are still enough brakes, then they would still be able to slow it. They would still be able to get it to a lower speed within the time and space required, hence getting a great time regardless. Oh dearie me. I bet my driver's having an uncomfortable time now with his spine, if he has one left, from all this curb hopping. Come on. Through there we go. Excelente. And yeah, we're not going to be setting a sub 2 minute time. I honestly think this is slower than mine, but if I can pull it all together on a third lap and just push an extreme amount of speed out of it, then maybe so. Yeah, 2 minutes 10, so it's definitely not setting a time that's to be cried about again. A 2 minute 10 is a decent enough time from what I've seen, but it's no supercar. I mean, that was clear from the very start. I just wanted a point of comparison to my vehicle, and it's providing that. Come on. If we get beaten by a family saloon, if I'm honest, it says some pretty bad things about my sports car anyway, so I'm kind of hoping it loses, just from that perspective. Whoa, slow, and then accelerate. It's a weird car, because it either wants you to be fully on the power or fully off it. The brakes, maybe not so much, but it wants you to be like, with the power fully on or fully off. I don't know why, it's just like that. Probably because there's not enough power in it, same problem with my car, but it's just disguised by the lack of tyre grip. I wonder, if that's miles per hour, and it's going over 100 miles per hour, then maybe that's why the brakes don't feel so good, because we're actually going so much quicker. But I don't think it is. The supercar struggled getting over 100 miles per hour, and I completely overcooked that corner. I shouldn't have done what I did there, but I did it anyway. Come on. Oh, round here we go. Oh, too much power, too much power. I was on the dirt with too much power through my wheels. If this is a great lap, I don't know what I'll say, because it really doesn't feel better than the second lap. I'm pushing the car, sure, but is pushing it going to be quicker? I would say not. Not in this case, at least. Ooh, I've actually damaged the door by pushing it so hard. Oh, come on, this way. Yes, tug of the wheel, and how long is it going to take? It was a valiant effort, but it's stuck on a 2:10, unfortunately. I believe that makes it just above the Miramar with the V8 engine. You see, the Miramar had a certain flow around this course that this vehicle does not have. And this vehicle, although it has all that modernisation, so it has a lot more grip than the Miramar where you need it, it just wasn't able to get into the same kind of flow as that car. And that's why it's not as far ahead as it really should be. But still, 2:10, fairly respectable time for just a regular saloon from the mid-90s. So I would say I've done a good job of building a sports car. Hey, it beats your typical saloon of the era, and it also delivers some technology from the slightly older supercar. So with that being said and done, I will say goodbye until another day.